I was born in Nigeria before I moved to the United States, and growing up in Nigeria, people would always make comments about my skin tone being yellow. They would always say, "Oh, yellow banana," you know, they would make those comments, and you know, I was pretty young, so I didn't really know it as colorism or anything, but I did know that I was different because they would always point out my skin tone. So even as a little girl, it used to kind of seep into my mind that, okay, I might be better because they're talking about my skin all the time, just being, you know, noticed. And so when my family moved to the United States when I was 10 years old, and I remember we moved to Wisconsin, so that was the first time of actually seeing what white people look like. So I remember being next to a young little white girl, and I put my skin against hers, because back home they would say that I was like light skinned. So I was like, oh, I'm light skinned, right? And then I did that, and I was like, wait a second, I'm black. And that was my first realization that I was black, because I realized that the difference was so clear, and it almost felt like that magic that I used to have was kind of gone in that moment, because, I mean, like I said, I was a kid, so I didn't really deep it too much as I'm deeping it now as an adult.
In today's episode, African women born and raised on the continent and African American women born and raised in the United States sit down to explore identity, womanhood, and shared ancestry. Though they share African roots, their histories, cultures, and lived experiences have been shaped by very different environments. From heritage and beauty standards to the legacies of colonization, this dialogue will unpack misconceptions, highlight cultural differences, and celebrate points of unity. The goal isn't to erase those differences, but to build deeper understanding, respect, and connection between women across continents and cultures. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Dav. Welcome to The Bridge.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm African American.
Hi, my name is Fabiana. I'm African American.
Hi, my name is Brian, and I'm African American.
Hi, I'm LaShawn, and I'm African American.
Hi, I'm Blessing, and I'm Nigerian.
Hi, I'm Sophie, and I'm Zimbabwean.
Hi, I'm Inda. I'm Ivoirian and Central African Republican and American.
Hi, I'm Sheena, and I'm from Uganda.
Thank you, ladies, for being here. Welcome. Hey friends, let's talk really quick about something that could seriously change your life if you were to ever get hurt. When you're seriously injured, whether it's a car accident, a slip, a fall, or something totally unexpected, your case could actually be worth millions. But here's the catch. Some insurance companies love to lowball you, like insultingly low. That's where Morgan & Morgan comes in. They are America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys across all 50 states. And they've been fighting for regular people for over 30 years. This is not your average law firm. Just listen to this. They recently won $12 million in Florida. That's 34 times more than the insurance offer. $26 million in Philadelphia, 40 times what was originally offered. And $6.8 million in New York. Again, way more than the insurance company wanted to pay. That's real money that changes lives. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. And here's the best part. It's 100% free unless they win your case. No upfront costs, no risk. Just real legal help when you need it the most. So if something happens, do not wait. Protect yourself. It only takes a few minutes to see if you even have a case. Did you know that you can start a claim with America's largest injury law firm in just a click? It's so easy. You can head over to www.forthepeople.com/DAF or just click the link in the description. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. The first prompt is, African women face more social and family pressure to marry than African American women. 3, 2, 1. Okay, anyone can share. Anyone who feels strongly about this can share.
It's definitely more pressure over here. Because it's like, once you're done with college, why are you single? Like, you have one job, get that degree and get married. 2 jobs. But the main one is get married. You can skip the degree if you need to.
I also feel like the way that we're raised too, I feel like they're simultaneously raising us to become wives as well, to learn how to be a homemaker, you know? So it's that plus also focusing on your studies. As soon as that's done and out the way, the career is built. Where's your husband?
Where's your husband? Where is your husband? But yet you're not allowed to date.
Exactly.
You can't date.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you're supposed to be married by the time you're done with school.
Make it make sense.
That's the story.
Excuse me, did you say that you cannot date?
I mean,
It's not encouraged.
Let me explain. Let me explain, especially for like the Nigerian culture, right? I feel like we're also very heavy in religion. So all that sex outside of marriage, all of that, they kind of frown down. They look down on it. So they want you to like focus on your studies. Don't talk to boys, oh. You hear your point, like don't talk to boys. Focus on your studies. But they expect you to still be married by the time you're done with your degree. So it's like the pressure for us is, I think, especially when you're a girl or a woman, it's so strict. Like you gotta be married before 30. There's an unspoken pressure. I mean, life is changing now. Times are changing, but I feel like it's still there. I mean, by the time you look at 25, everybody married.
I feel like in my family specifically, like the women in my family had children very young, so they actually discouraged me from any of that. They say, I would rather you live your life and go towards your career, and if you like find that, that's cool. I don't really get pressured about it. I mean, I get teased like, you got a boyfriend, or you know, but it's not like, why aren't you married?
Right.
You know.
So interesting.
I can say the same for me, like coming from what I call a black family in America. Like nobody's really pressing you about getting married. They're just making sure like, don't bring no knucklehead over here. So, and they really do press like going to college, going to get a career, like being successful on your own. And my aunties are always saying, have that money in your back pocket because you can't trust no man kind of idea, which is sad. I kind of think that it's more valuable, kind of what you talked about. It's like, oh, we're teaching you how to be a wife and we're valuing marriage, although I think the pressure might be a little bit too much. I think it's nice to know that the core foundation is family, because I think that's what makes someone successful, is having a strong family unit.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
Yes, that's beautiful.
I also think marriage in Africa is looked at as prestige.
Yeah.
It's a privilege, and everyone in the community, for you to be married is looked at as success. And here, it's not, in America, it's different because people encourage you to live your life. To, you know, just see how things are, test the waters, how this is.
But if you are married, you know, in Africa, are the marriages successful? Like, is there a high rate of divorce like it is in the U.S.?
It's definitely high. I ain't gonna hold you.
Okay.
You guys, we're all from different parts of Africa, so
Right.
I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but like, it's still high in Nigeria. The thing is that people are not legally filing. They're leaving. They're leaving separate lives.
They carry on.
The man will go and marry another wife.
I heard. That's what I-
They're not. It's not registered, but they're not together.
Okay. Because you know, there's strict rules. It's like if you're married, then you're married, and you cannot marry another woman because that would be bigamy. You know, like in the States, they can't, you know,
that's the
run
thing.
around
Like
and do that.
different cultures allow it.
But I was going to say, even from your culture, you said that your moms, you know, are teaching you how to be wives and how to keep a good house. In the U.S., as a little girl, you're raised that way too. Your parents are, my mom anyway, and especially coming from the South, you know, they're teaching you how to cook.
Absolutely.
Number one, clean.
Absolutely.
You know, do that laundry and work. See, so it's not like, oh, when you get this husband, then, you know, you're gonna live this life of luxury. It's like, no, you're gonna have this career as well, and kids, you know, so it's all loaded. Our society puts that on you too, you know, and looks at women like, I'm not gonna say today, because right now, this is what, 2025, so things are changing. But I'm gonna say let's say in the 60s, in the 70s, and even in the 80s, you know, they're like, you know, even if you went to college, well, you haven't found a a prospect for a husband? What are you gonna do? You know, and now, I believe women now are just like, I don't need a husband.
I just want to add to something my sister said on this end, right? You talked about status and how marriage elevates your status in Africa. It's when you're here in America, you can be single and still, you know, if you might hear commentary and it's not that deep.
Right.
The way life is in Nigeria, I'm telling you, when you enter certain rooms with a man, you can feel the difference. Your respect level is different. People listen to you more. It's still a man's, it's really heavy on being a man's world. So women a lot of the times are looking for husbands for protection, for security, for that financial stability. It's the economy, the way the whole country is set up, that man is there to give you a softer, better life. It might not be the case behind closed doors, but outside to the public, to everybody else, you have that leader and that protection. It's just that you feel it instantly. I was just in Nigeria last year. I went for business. Nobody cared that I was a businesswoman coming there for what I was doing. Because anytime I went somewhere, they would take longer to bring my food. The difference was clear when my male friends were with me, where it was like, guy, bring that food now. 10 minutes, food is at the table. But when I'm there, I gotta wait till the waiter can, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that when I go to Nigeria and I'm with a man, I don't even look at a bill. Like, it's different. Like, you feel the society leaning towards like, you're on a higher rank because you have this man.
Yeah.
And God help you, let him have some money.
Right.
You
And
really soft.
And I think even too, like the prevalence of like arranged marriages in your guys' culture, like that in and of itself signifies like the importance of marriage for like African American women. Like personally for me, my mom is Japanese, my dad is African American. Like even though he did definitely press like, okay, where's your husband? He's not sitting here like trying to actually find me a husband, you know? So yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard a lot from you.
Yeah, I mean, I put no because I didn't grow up in a very strict African household, and that's like not very common as an African person. But yeah, like it was more so like, you know, do your studies. If you want to date, but be careful. It was very like free, and I appreciate that because I can't relate to a lot of the things that a lot of African people go through in like the households, but yeah, I think my mom has a very open-minded, leans very American, I would say, but she's like an African woman, she's African. But yeah, it's just, I can't really relate, but I definitely agree and see it happen a lot. It's a big thing in African culture.
Are you 30 plus?
I'm 21.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah, your age is,
Wait a
you're
little
not there
longer.
yet.
Okay, I do have a question for the ladies on the African side. Do you feel like there's an expectation for African women to submit more in relationships or face stricter gender roles than African American women?
Absolutely.
Is that in the USA or just in the whole
In the USA, I guess you could.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like if they know that you're African, and because they've had that African women know how to submit, they expect that from you, and it just makes the whole dynamics just go a little bit off. But yes, yeah, it's expected.
Are there any examples of the ways that an African man or his family would expect you as a wife to behave that may be different than maybe African American experience?
Oh my gosh. I hate to be the one talking all the time, but I'm gonna have to jump in here. I remember dating this one guy, and you know, when I first went over to see his parents and everything, it was great because they were like, oh, okay, you know, you finally brought somebody that makes sense, it was good. And you know, they cooked for me, everything was great, right? I'm thinking, oh, this is a different experience. I'm thinking I'm in here and it's soft. Next time I come, they're looking at me like, oh, okay, where are you from? I tell them where I'm from, and they're like, you know, you're going to cook, because I'm from Akwa Ibom in Nigeria, and they're like, you know, you're going to cook that edikaikong, which is one of our like very well-known soups in Nigeria. So I'm like, yeah, but my parents are chefs. I don't, you know. And they're looking at me like, so I'm just like, all right. I felt that instant pressure already to prove myself. Like, okay, yes, I can be a good wife to this man, but why? Why ain't he cooking for me? Come to find out later on, he couldn't cook. And that was one of my deal breakers. I had to let him go. But, you know, it just, for me, it's like you can feel that they want to act like, oh, it's all good, but there's still these, that, you know,
Expectations.
yeah, can she take care of him?
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that, or anything that you've experienced?
So on the African American woman's side, I think we have a bad rap in America. I think people already know that if they get with a black woman that's from America, don't expect no submitting, don't expect me to be quiet. Just how I'm talking now, that's how I'm going to talk to you. Have you seen Angela Bassett in that lovely movie, Waiting to Exhale?
Yes.
You can expect that you will not be cheating on me after 11 years of helping you out, because your car is going to
blow up.
No, I just really think that that's kind of been a stereotype, but there is a little truth to it. We are raised to be independent. We are raised, as she said earlier, to have a job, do all these things, and raise the kids and do that. So if that's going to be the case, I'm not putting up with no mess. So that means if you're not acting right, if you're not talking right, if something's not right, I can speak up for myself. But I think it also gives us kind of like a bad stereotype in that way. It's like, ooh, she's gonna give me some black attitude.
Thank you.
Everyone talks about black excellence, about culture, about connections.
But what good is that if you don't have access to it?
The truth is, for creatives, for entrepreneurs, for young professionals of African descent, access is still the greatest barrier.
Access to capital, access to networks,
access to real opportunities that change lives.
We are done waiting. That's why African exists.
African isn't just a party.
It's not just a conference, it's a platform. It's a bridge.
And there's no better place to build that bridge than Atlanta.
Every panel, every private room, every handshake at African is designed to close the gap.
I've pitched to many investors, but it was at African where I met funders who looked like me, who understood me and believed in what I was building.
This is how we build Black wealth. This is how we raise the value of African culture.
This is how we change the narrative globally. Because when Africa rises, the diaspora rises. When the diaspora rises, Africa thrives.
African. The future is ours.
If we build it together.
And the next prompt is, I would date a man from the other community. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's interesting. Why wouldn't you date a man who is African American?
Well, I say that now that I'm dating a man from my country. It was never like something that I didn't want, but now that like I'm with him, I see the blessing of having someone who comes from the same background, comes from the same culture, has the same faith, you know, and stuff like that, was raised the same way as me. So I feel like if I was in a relationship with someone who was not Zimbabwean, I have felt like you kind of have to over-explain your culture, why you do certain things, why you eat certain things, why you dress a certain way, you know? So I enjoy the fact that I don't have to explain myself, you know, or defend my culture, you know, yeah.
Who here, just quickly, who here has dated from the other community? You could just raise your hand. I'm just curious.
Can I just explain?
You don't have to.
No, let me explain. I have to explain because there's a difference.
Okay.
I've dated somebody who was Nigerian but born here and raised almost the same way an African American man was raised, but his parents were Nigerian. And I feel like it didn't sip in all the way. Like it was just a little, you know, so I don't know what to consider him, honestly. Sometimes I struggle, but he still had the African American culture more than the Nigerian. So I guess I can count him as one of y'all.
So ladies, you also said that you would date from this other community, African men. Is there anything you will elaborate on?
I don't really know a whole lot, honestly, but I would say that I'm open to it. I wouldn't say that like anybody from a certain like I don't want to exclude anybody. That's what.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm the same way. Like, if you want to fall in love, if that's your goal, I think you shouldn't really look on the outside. You're more so just open to anything. But specifically when it comes to African men, to me, I think it would be more so because I would like to feel a connection more to Africa. I feel like you call yourself African American, but somebody says, well, what are you mixed? People often say, what am I mixed with? And I'm like, I'm black, that's it. But if you, I feel like that would give me more of a sense and an understanding of the African culture, you know, but I don't think his parents would like me because I'm definitely an African American woman. I am not an African woman, so I don't know how to make the soup. I don't know how to fold the clothes.
No, you can learn.
I'm gonna hire people to do that. That's how I was raised. You delegate what you don't know how to do. So.
You know what? I actually relate to what they're saying as well, because the reason why I wanted to turn my paddle both ways was because I'm also at an age where I have to be open to whatever God has for me. And as much as, like you said, it's easier being with a Nigerian because I don't have to explain, and you know, y'all done already told that you can tell that my accent is changing because I'm looking at Michelle and she's Nigerian, and I'm like,
I'm Ghanaian.
Like, oh, Ghanaian, sorry, like she's because I'm like, my accent is changing, but I'm saying this because when I'm with somebody who's Nigerian, I'm like totally just myself completely. Not to say that I wouldn't be, just would take a lot of you making me feel comfortable and safe and all that stuff. So I'm open to.
I think what she said is valid, like not having to over-explain yourself. Like I can see that perspective, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What would you like to say?
I would say that, I mean, I'm in a relationship at the moment, and he's Filipino.
Okay.
And like, I can like understand what, you know, what you're saying about, you know, you feel like you're understood. But I think also, you know, and I'm a very open-minded person, but he takes the time to learn my culture. It's not that like, I'm like African and he's Asian. It's like, I'm African, he's Asian, and he's learning about, like, he was having a conversation with me. Like, we go on like full-on conversations about African culture, like African American culture, because he's like, he grew up a lot, like he's American. But yeah, I mean, I have an open mind. But yeah, I do feel like whoever you're with, if they understand who you are, it doesn't matter what they look like, doesn't matter like who they are or where they come from, you will always feel at home. And yeah, I just wanted to put it out there.
But I have one question from the side. The African women, how do you guys feel when you see an African American woman dating your African men? Like, you know what I mean? Like if we were at a party and I came in with this African man, would you welcome me into your circle, or would you be like, oh, no?
Personally, I have a lot of aunts now and uncles from different cultures. Like, we have a brother-in-law from Spain. We have an aunt from Nigeria. I have an aunt who's African American. I have an aunt that's white, you know? And I feel like my family specifically, we are very welcoming.
Okay. But I wanted to ask that question because we hear a lot, you know what I'm saying? Sisters from the other side, they don't like African American women because we think, you know, we're better than them, you know, we think we're white. You know, you hear this about black. So I just wanted to know, you know, would you be rolling eyes, or would you be like, welcome?
I definitely feel like it's also how you lead into that family. We're very big on respect in Africa.
Okay.
So if you're leading already with an energy that's almost like, you know what I mean? You have to lead with love. You have to lead with respect. Forget love.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying.
Like, we are submissive. So we're not gonna walk behind you. We're not gonna be running to cook the food, you know, and honey, y'all fluffing pillows and doing all that.
Yeah, I get that.
We're not gonna do that. Would you?
No, I get that, but I'm saying even with what you're saying, right? You can do all of that behind closed doors with your man, and it's not a problem. When you're coming to his family, you have to lead in almost you have to calm all of that down and just be more respectful. Like, for example, you can't eat our food and be like, ugh, this is like, you know what I'm saying? You have to
be open.
You have to be open, you have to be respectful. And let me tell you, African people, very loving and friendly, especially when you come to our culture. We want to love on you. We want to show you everything. Our music, we're very welcoming. So if it's just how you lead. That's basically what is respect.
Respect is a big thing.
Is that is the experience of like no respect? Do you guys receive that from black women? Like, do you guys when you guys have these experiences, do you feel like we don't respect your guys' like culture?
I haven't seen that.
No.
I haven't seen that.
Honestly,
haven't
it's
seen
just,
that.
it's based on the person. To
Right.
be honest with you, it's, like I said, when you're leading with respect and love, it's hard to just give you an energy.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time it works out. They blend in. We even be forgetting that y'all not even one of us. We
Yeah,
dance
yeah,
into the
no,
Nigerian-
literally.
Like you come to a Nigerian
Yeah.
wedding, it's like you don't know. They're wearing. You guys are wearing our outfits and
Uh-huh.
everything. Like we're family. We don't really. Yeah.
I also just want to say that the people that have taken care of me most and very lovingly ever since I came to this country is Black women, Black American women. And I've been with them ever since. And so it's just, it's all love. Yeah.
How would your that is
Love that,
I can relate to that as well. How would your family feel about you dating someone from the opposite community, opposite in this discussion?
My family is like childish, so they like to tease. Like anything, they'll probably just crack some jokes
On the accent.
Yeah, I mean not even like, oh, that's what you wanted, or you know,
Right.
like, oh, you was going across the pond or something.
Yeah.
They would just crack jokes, but they wouldn't shun him or like not welcome him.
That's good.
The only thing the women would say in my family is, make sure you know how many wives he has.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
Yes,
see, that's
yes.
a common story.
double
sometimes.
lives. Yeah,
Yeah,
You don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to defend my man, but I'm sorry. You better check, girl.
Good to check.
Check.
On anybody. Yeah.
We'll move on to the next problem.
Hi y'all, my name is Blessing and I'm the owner of a Boki Bee beef jerky. This is the best beef jerky in the world. You know why? Because I made it, okay? Period. Listen, what you need to know about this jerky is that we bring our spices from my country in Nigeria. It is authentic, it is spicy, it's packed with flavor, and we have other flavors on the website for you to check out. We got the mango habanero, we got the hot and spicy, the mild, and y'all, we have the latest vegan jerky made out of sweet chili pineapple. I'm telling you, it's nothing like you've ever had before. If you want to grab one of these, go to our website. We ship all over the world. You do not want to miss this. The best beef jerky in the world. Come on now, a Boki Bee to the world.
Natural hair is more embraced in Africa than in America. 3, 2, 1. Natural hair. Okay.
So natural hair, I feel like, yes, they love natural hair in Africa, but things are changing. A lot of people, and mostly the young people, are watching social media. They're watching America. They're watching you guys. So a lot of people are rebelling that whenever you go, like, even when I was at campus at my country, like 5 years ago, it was at university. It's a privilege that if people see you putting on like a wig, like very long up to like here, you look more nice, you know. So it makes you like stand out more, and people look at you differently than having your natural hair. So it's like it's running out. It's becoming like a thing of like yesterday, and here people are embracing African more natural hair.
Oh, yeah.
Here more. So it's just a thing that is changing.
When I did my big chop when I was in 7th grade, literally people were telling me like natural hair isn't for everybody, and like you should get a perm, you should straighten your hair. Like people always like, oh, you should straighten your hair, it would be so pretty. And I kind of hate that comment.
Right.
But yeah, it was just wasn't that embraced. I'm from the South, so I was the first woman like in my grade to like do the big chop. I think when I became like around senior year, that's when other girls started doing the big chop. And then I was like, interesting. But it was sort of like, it took a while to get there. And I think it's still like if you don't have a certain hair texture, or if you don't like wear braids all the time, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, people don't really
fully accept.
Identify, I guess.
But now it's accepted. They've even created a law, you know, because people were getting fired.
Yeah.
Black women were getting fired if they came with braids. They were like, it's unacceptable. It doesn't look professional for you to have your hair, you know, natural style or in braids. Or in school, you know, they were doing this whole thing. But now it's like, you should embrace everybody's culture, and that's why they fought so hard for it. So now anything goes.
But in Africa, do you feel like the women are having more pressure to move away from their natural hair? I think you kind of spoke to that because of social media and watching.
Yes.
Do you think watching African American women specifically, or watching just American women?
I feel like watching just America or like just social media, just giving them that pressure that they have to look a certain way.
What about the Africans here in America? Do you believe that? Do you have that same pressure once you're in America?
No.
Okay.
Because I feel like once you're here, the first maybe like 2 years, you try to blend in, but at maybe like the third year, you get tired of it all, and then you just start putting a wrap on your hair, on your head, or just moving with your natural hair.
Okay.
So
I definitely agree with what she's saying, for sure. Like now, especially in Nigeria, everybody's doing those lace front. Like it's just, and it's more of like the more silkier it is, the more expensive. People are spending the rent on their weaves. Like the pressure to keep up with the love and hip hop ladies here in America is crazy. Back in Nigeria, like it's a lot. So do they look down on you if you have your natural hair? No, but to be in, I would say, like, to just kind of be in certain rooms, I guess, just to stand out. Nobody's gonna look down on you, but you just would be looking, everything is about money. You wanna look expensive, get the long weave. So that's just what it is.
Go ahead.
Sorry, but I just wanted to say like the rapper aesthetic, or the rapper baby mama aesthetic, like she said with the love and hip hop, or like how Nicki Minaj has a long, like all the way down to her legs. Yeah. I think that kind of did popularize it and like make it sort of like you said, a status symbol.
It's a status symbol.
Yeah.
Especially
with colors.
We still doing our braids fresh in Africa, so we're good on with braids, but you know, the weddings, everybody got the 360s. How you call it?
But I also feel like, specifically in my country, it doesn't matter. Like, I could go to work with cornrows, I could go to work with a wig, I could go to work with a head wrap. I can even show up to a wedding like that, and that's fine. So I feel like back home, I feel like it would be more accepted for you to just come as you are, whether it looks good or not here in America. I just like how relaxed it is, you know?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because
I love that, because we do a lot of head wraps back home, so you can get away. I can't come to work with no gilly on my head.
Literally, you don't have to do too much. And yeah, I feel like that's even more beautiful, you know, when you just come as you are, come as how you're comfortable today, you know, so.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because growing up, I grew up in Africa, and hair-wise, it was a lot of like, do your braids. It was more affordable, I would say, to do my hair in Africa.
Yes.
But yeah, so I guess moving to the US, it was like this pressure of, that's the only time I started to become a little insecure about my hair, because growing up in Africa, I didn't think about my hair. It was just kind of something that was taken care of. But as soon as I moved to the US, it was like I became aware of my hair, and I became aware of like the texture of my hair. I became aware of like me as a person. It was like this big like, oh, I am this, like I am, you know, this color, and my hair is this texture. And it was just this whole thing. And you know, at first we were doing like the regular things we would do in Africa, like, you know, get my hair done. But then it became so expensive,
It's so expensive. Oh my
that
gosh.
like now, like it's only here and there that I'll get braids done. Like it's not even like, it's not a regular thing as much as it, sorry, as much
Like,
as
how
it
much
was
does it cost
before.
in Africa to get your hair
You could
braided?
get your hair done right now for like $5, $10.
$5?
Yes.
Very cheap.
Yes, I'm so for real. I'm so for real. Yeah.
Especially back then, yes. And here, like I think, like simple, like $300 in California.
It's 200.
My braids were not more
You
than
have to buy the
$25
hair, right? You have to buy the hair, show up with the hair.
Here.
Then they still want 200 or 250, depending on the length.
300.
300.
Oh yeah.
For this hairdo.
Instagram girlies,
It's crazy.
Hey, come on.
they are
It's-
insane.
That's
I'm
what
not
we're
even
going
gonna lie.
through.
But I feel like that aspect of it is what taught me, even as a professional, how to do my own hair. The amount of money that I've saved my mother, both my sister and I, since my mom hasn't touched my hair since I was like probably 8, because my sister learned, you know? So I feel like it's harder too once you come out here, especially as immigrants, like once you come into America, how do you keep up, you know? Because it's so expensive, you know, whereas something like that, you
gotta get that credit card.
Yeah, exactly. But don't do it for your hair. Don't do it for your hair.
Hair credit
So
card.
funny. Hair credit card is crazy.
I feel you on that.
You gotta get that man.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's really a thing because like how American men always talk about like y'all be begging, why y'all always ask for money?
Because it's an arm and a leg.
You want to be cute or not?
You gotta get these nails done.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. And the next prompt is, colorism affects us equally, whether in Africa or in America. 3, 2, 1. Okay, anyone can speak.
I actually did a project on this in high school because I thought it was such a huge deal in my family. I come from like the typical African American family, so you're gonna have like everybody of every shade in there. But on my mom's side, everybody was very, very light. And everybody prized being very, very light. They didn't do it on purpose, but that's the way that they were brought up. So it was very, very like, oh, you know, don't get out in the sun too much. You're gonna get too dark. Like being light was seen as being better. And then I also saw that at school because I went to schools where it was predominantly white or Hispanic. So the closer you were to that aesthetic, the more attractive you were looked as. So being a teenager, wanting to fit in, as you said, wanting to fit in with other people, there was this pressure and I felt that awareness. Oh, my skin tone is just like this much off from being light enough to be cute. My hair is this texture, it's not straight enough. It's not like my mom's or it's not like this person. So I really feel like it was heavy. And so I went to go see if it was like that across the world and in many different countries. So not even just in African culture, I seen it all over the world. And I was just like, wow, people really do have this deep-seated hatred for darker skin and darker features and more indigenous features. And it's really, really sad. Because it's part of being human that people are going to be different. So to see a whole group of people as being, you know, trying to put them down, basically. So
I blame it on colonization and slavery.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the
It's the root of it all, yeah.
I have a personal story to share because I remember I was born in Nigeria before I moved to the United States, and growing up in Nigeria, people would always make comments about my skin tone being yellow. They would always say, "Oh, yellow banana," you know. They would make those comments, and you know, I was pretty young, so I didn't really know it as colorism or anything, but I did know that I was different because they would always point out my skin tone. So even as a little girl, it used to kind of seep into my mind that okay, I might be better because they're talking about my skin all the time, just being, you know, noticed. And so when my family moved to the United States when I was 10 years old. And I remember we moved to Wisconsin, so that was the first time of actually seeing what white people look like. So I remember being next to a young little white girl, and I put my skin against hers, because back home they would say that I was like light skinned. So I was like, oh, I'm light skinned, right? And then I did that, and I was like, wait a second, I'm black. And that was my first realization that I was black. Because I realized that the difference was so clear, and it almost felt like that magic that I used to have was kind of gone in that moment. Because, I mean, like I said, I was a kid, so I didn't really deep it too much as I'm deeping it now as an adult. But at that time, I was just like, oh, okay. And I just kind of, you know, grew up just realizing like, wow, like even anytime I would go back home, because I've been in America for a while, so my skin tone is a lot brighter when I would go back, and they would still make those comments, and I'm just like, wow, there really is a huge difference, like when people look at you based on your skin. But I didn't feel no special here. Here I was just like, it didn't matter what shade I was.
And it's interesting because being someone who is African, my parents are born in Ghana, but I was born here, so I kind of got both experiences. You can be sort of like light skinned in the African world, And but in the African American world, being light skinned looks completely different.
Different, yes.
Yeah.
That's
It's
exactly.
totally different. And
Right.
so it's interesting kind of going between both worlds
That
and
was
how
what I
you're
was struggling
perceived.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to add too, because I think the question, and clarify me if I'm wrong, is if like colorism is like the same on both sides. I had my like answer green, and then I really thought about it, and I'm gonna switch to red. I feel like African women, and I think like, because a lot of what I learn about African women is through media. I mean, like, I don't have a lot of African people on my, like, in my life, but like with what with what was said earlier about how a lot of African like people watch African American like TV and things like that, like we don't have like people bleaching their skin, right? And like I think the examples like that really just show us that like there's levels to this colorism stuff, and I think like especially with Africa, like, you know, deemed quote unquote as a more impoverished state versus like America, where, you know, we're selling millions of dollars. It's like in comparison to like African American women in America, I just think that like colorism isn't based on our survival. Like it's really not. Whereas like maybe African like women, it is, unfortunately.
I have a quick question though. Do you think being a lighter skinned African American woman and mixed race kind of might have colored your opinion? Because I can personally say growing up in America, like as she spoke, I could go in the Black community, I'm seen as lighter skinned to some people, but too dark in other circles. And it definitely affected how attractive. It even affected me going to auditions as an actress. They wanted a specific curl pattern. They asked me, can you please take a picture of your curl pattern? That determined whether or not I was gonna get a job. So, and this is in America. And then, and there was skin bleaching in America. There's Ambi, if you ever look up that company of Ambi. So there's been years and years of that. Also, paper bag parties, if you look those up in the 1920s, if you were any darker than a paper bag, you couldn't even go to their college parties.
Yeah,
And sororities.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying like African American women's like experience of colorism isn't like valid in any experience, but like I just to say, like in comparison to two different cultures, like we're Americans at the end of the day versus like a country, a continent like Africa that was literally stripped of its resources. Like they're thousands of years behind. Like I just think that they're like Ambi, like I'm not, the paper bag test, yes, I agree, but like, I don't know, yes, I'm a light-skinned woman, yes, I'm my perspective is like of mixed race, but that doesn't mean that I'm not like cognizant of the fact that like darker skinned women have like,
can be true.
Yeah,
you're both right.
Yeah, like you know,
This is
Well,
like
I'm just
like
saying, 'cause you're saying
advertising.
it's not
and, like,
based on survival, and I'm just saying that if you looked at history, it was some people they were denied certain jobs, they were denied access to certain resources because they were deemed as too dark. They weren't allowed to participate in certain things because they were too dark. So that's why I'm just asking, like, do you think that your experience colored that because you're not referencing the history of those things that happened in this country? So it really did happen, and it really did hinder people. It's hindered me in certain jobs. And only now has it, I would say since 2013, where people could wear a 4C texture in a commercial.
Yeah.
You didn't see that. So I think studying history is really important because then you'll see over time that certain things were not allowed, certain things weren't shown. There's certain singers that get more popularity, they don't have the same vocal range because they're lighter skinned with blonde weave. And I think we know who that is.
No, you're right. I did want to just add to what she was saying as well too. I'm sorry guys, I know you were waiting to talk. Should I finish up? I'll just say it really quick. I just want to add to what she was saying because back home in Nigeria, there are levels to it, basically. Like there are some people that I don't even want to put on lotion. I'm gonna bleach this skin because it is gonna elevate my status and put me in a better position. Still in entertainment, like what you were saying as well, because a lot of the times they're trying to get in those spaces and it does open those doors. So we are watching the US, everybody, the whole world is. So whatever you guys do that it looks like it's working for y'all, even down to like the surgeries and all of that, they're doing it back home too.
And so I want to just ask this question. I think it ties in with this quickly. Do you feel that hip hop reinforces these colorism stereotypes?
Oh,
yes.
The main culprit.
The main
Yes.
culprit.
They will even make songs talking. I've had people call me a red bone.
Always
They
red
promote
bone.
that.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah.
be light skin with
Yeah.
this, that. They never say, oh, I want a dark skinned queen from Africa. They never
I feel
say
like
that.
barely even now. It's starting to pop up in music a little bit, but still,
not
that
as-
just you saying that shows that we still have that problem. It hasn't gone away at all.
That's the culprit
Yeah.
for a lot of little girls. I mean, if you're constantly hearing that having a red bone is like the ideal, like you've made it as a man, how does that make someone who doesn't
the
look
world
like
is
that
so
feel?
much-
There's a young man named Cat Williams who said, look at all the famous comedians' wives. And all you have to do is look at them. They look exactly the same.
And the world is more forgiving to lighter skinned women. A black woman, a dark skinned woman can do the same thing, punished for it. Just toe up in the media.
I feel like in my country, it's these levels, just like you say, to people wanting to be light skinned, but it's not on that level where it makes you feel like depressed or feel like you're so aware of your skin that you have to like push yourself back. Because when I came here, that's when I found out I was I was in my 20s, but I found out that I was black.
Same.
I didn't know that in my country. There's, like people like brown skinned people, but they don't make you feel like you will die if you don't have light skinned women. Here, you have to have God in your heart for God to like give you the confidence that you need, or you're going to like really get depressed and just get, like you throw yourself away. And so I've also gone in these rooms because God has pushed me to like go to places because I have like these gifts and talents that God had put in my heart, in me. And when I go to these things, I don't see any black woman. And I'm like, God, it's just me. Look at me, like all these people are white or, like, it's just me that is black. And God is like, that's why I want you there, because that's why you have your, But 3 years ago, I had gotten so depressed because everyone that I was talking to, like I could feel the, like just them, like
The judgment.
yeah. But right now, because I don't even care about it, I have God in my heart, and God has already told me I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
No one can, even whatever you do, it will just go like to my back, because I know there's a lot of young black girls that need to see me, and they need to know that they can do this too.
That's right.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
We're wrapping this up. I just want to make one comment. I might be overgeneralizing in this, but I have noticed oftentimes when I see a lot of interracial couples, like white men choosing to date women of color, I do see them oftentimes with darker skinned women.
Very exotic.
Than the lighter skinned black women.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a preference. They find that more beautiful. And so that's something I've always found really fascinating, that they are the ones that actually really like it versus maybe African American men, which is really sad.
I do feel like it is changing now, like because I feel like darker skinned women are trending ever since Lupita came and all that. Like there's a trend now for like the rich darker.
It sounds
skin.
like that on social media.
But maybe on social
but
media.
I don't know if it's that way in
real life.
life.
Yeah, no, on
there's a
social media,
difference.
that's what I'm noticing.
On social media,
Before Lupita,
yes.
there was Alec Weck.
Yes.
Do you know who she is?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just
Alec
I'm
Weck
just
was one of
off
the
yes.
she's supermodel, okay, and super black, super black, and Naomi Campbell.
Online,
Yeah, it's
can be
definitely
different.
changing a little bit, but I don't know. But online is different. than
Online
real
is
life.
different than real
Yeah.
life, but we hope it does change. Okay, on to the next prompt. Racism is the main cause of poverty in the black community. 3, 2, 1.
Look at her. She said, "I can't
I'm sorry.
decide."
Which one is it?
I'm in the middle.
Okay, you gotta pick.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna do this thing.
Okay. All right. So anyone can speak on this. Whoever feels very strongly about this.
I think things like credit score, being, like I said, getting into certain communities. There's a ceiling that for one, it's like, if business is always based on networking, and people who have like a monopoly, like things that are like prior experience or expertise in a field, they're going to gatekeep certain things, especially like if a small business or a mom and pop wanted to get a loan or something like that, it would be a lot more difficult, like more hurdles to jump over, rather than just their hard work, their ethic. Those things don't necessarily determine success, because especially like before, like when we had like segregated places where, you know, they would target those areas, or they would bomb or not feed resources evenly. So I think, I'm using the title, but yeah, we have that prior stigmatized way of, you know, us living, where they don't necessarily let us strive in the way that we would want to.
I'm going to say, first of all, you have to wrap your head around who built this society? Whose society are we living in? Who are the gatekeepers? Of course, they're going to design everything for them. So if you are not one of them, then your mindset is always trying to claw to be like them, instead of turning your mindset and saying, I don't have to be like you to get that. Okay, because it's all in here. But they create it, so if your mind is clouded and confused, that's the way you're always going to be thinking. Instead of, I don't have to think that way, I can still get what I want. I might have to take a different path to get there, but I'm going to get there. If you sit down and just go, I'm black, and the system is built against me, you have failed. You are never going to get up. You have to turn it all around.
So you can't acknowledge
and it's all,
at all?
No, you have to say, I am black. I am in a system that they designed, but I'm still going to do what I need to do to get what I need to get.
I feel like
just
legally.
about, like the institutionalized racism.
It's this world, this society is built on white people.
And that's why I kind of went like this,
Right.
because I acknowledge what she said. I acknowledge that there are gatekeepers, because when I look at the realm of entertainment, there were times I would go on set, everybody knew each other on the crew. Everybody is Caucasian, and their father was a grip. Their great-grandfather was a grip. Their great-granddaddy was a prop master, going all the way back to the 1920s when Fox was first built, and I'm only using them as an example, but all these different studios, there's all these different connections. So there is kind of like a gatekeeperness to it, but then like you said, we do have an opportunity, being that and I love what you said earlier, if you have God in your heart, if you have a breakthrough mindset, then you're going to do things that seem impossible, because you have a supernatural source. But it is hard, and it is a challenge, and there has been blockades put up for us that we would have to jump through, and you're going to need some help. You're going to need God's help.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's important to be aware of like the limitations, but it's also important to speak up on the fact that it is institutionalized, because it's not something that should be put in place in society, especially African Americans are like, you guys, this is your country. So it's like, you know, I wouldn't say to like, be like, oh yeah, this is life and you just have to fight, and you deserve like a soft, you know, easy path in your country. And I wouldn't say I just wouldn't encourage like settling for it. I would encourage speaking up and trying to change things in this country, because it just can't keep going on like that. And we've seen a lot happen, like with you know, Little Mermaid. Like they were changing things, and since like even, you know, back then, Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, it's like people are speaking up, and that's what creates change. They didn't just, you know, sit around and be like, well, maybe one day it'll get better. You know, it's like, I'm gonna make it better, and I'm gonna do something today to make it better. So.
Do you? I want to ask this just to the group. It's just like a hands question. You don't have to raise your pads. Who here feels like we're overly obsessed with race in America?
I say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can speak to it.
Because it controls everything.
Yeah.
It does. Whether they speak up about it or not, it still does. When you walk in somewhere, just say, it's a job interview. And the person that's interviewing you, they might be black. but they're looking at you like, oh Lord. What are they going to bring to the table? You know, I need to hear it. It's just the way, because society has put that seed in there. It could be a white person, and then they see you wearing a suit and you're looking good and everything and have the qualifications and the degrees, and then they're looking at you going, ha, you have more than I do. So let me crush you for a minute. So it's all built on that.
I did want to make a comment because I've tried, as I've stayed in America, to be very sensitive when it comes to racism topics because, like I said, I was born in Nigeria. I didn't really know a lot about what slavery did to the African American lineage and all of that. I can say this though, being Nigerian and coming here, nobody knows that I'm Nigerian unless I say it, and I'm black here. And we feel what you guys are going through and what you have experienced, because sometimes even our parents have to work 2-3 jobs. We have to work extra hard all the time. And I didn't even know that the African Americans kind of built the country the way with everything. So I'm very like sensitive when you ask that question. I was like hesitant to speak because I might have my thoughts, but I don't understand the struggle. So I just know that I definitely feel it being black.
Do you mind saying the question one more time?
Oh, I was just asking who here feels like we're overly obsessed with race in America. I know a few people that were born in Africa, different parts of West Africa, and they had a very strong confidence. They were wealthy, they had good lives there, and they came to America, and they still carry that confidence with them here. And it looked so different to me than like the average African American man. But they had their confidence from where they came from. They didn't feel like they were inferior. But when they came here, they were told they were inferior. But because they had such a strong sense of self from where they came from, it was hard to break their mentality to make them feel different.
It's very quick to bounce back to when you get broken here. It's very quick to bounce back because you've been through a lot, you know, like more stuff, harder stuff than this, but just in a different way. But you're built to like just keep on going.
Oh, we hustle.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's also, yeah. Sorry. I definitely agree. Like growing up, I was born in Africa, and I would say I came from a pretty privileged background. And moving to the US, it was like really like you face the hardships. Everybody's equal in the US. So equal is a bit, but like, you know, it's more you have this opportunity. It's like the American dream. And the privilege that you have in Africa is not the same privilege that you will get in the US. And but it's also the confidence that you carry of growing up in a space that told you that you are enough as a kid, and knowing that around you changes a lot, like when you grow up, because you have just a lot more like self-assurance. Like you walk into rooms and you're like, yeah, I was told, you know, I'm, you know, black, I'm African, but I am also worth it, and I can, you know, I can do a lot of things in society. So
absolutely,
yeah, I don't.
I think that question is really interesting too, because like in regards to like African American, like our identity was essentially stripped away from us. So like the idea that like we potentially, us as a society, we could potentially be like over obsessed with race. I think it's like important to be obsessed with race. Like we're all different, and I think not acknowledging our differences and like completely erasing our culture is going, like history is going to be bound to repeat itself again. Yeah.
I really just 100% agree with that, and I was gonna say, like, honestly, I envy in a way, not in a negative way, that you guys know where you come from. I feel like we are so lost as African Americans because we do not know where we come from, and all we know is that we were put down as animals. And we almost didn't make it. And if it wasn't for the grace of God, we wouldn't have made it. And then now through all these struggles and these heartaches and being pressed down, oh, if we just keep pressing, we gotta be better. We gotta be 10 times better than them. Otherwise, they're not gonna acknowledge us. It really does kind of, I feel like, put a chip on our shoulder. And maybe even that's why, you know, they say we have an attitude, the black woman attitude. Maybe some of that is just a burden that we're carrying. So I just think, honestly, yeah, I just think that that's something very valuable, that you guys know where you come from.
Get your passport, come on.
I know, I need to. I have a passport. I just need to get on.
Yes, please.
Come. We love y'all.
Oh yeah.
You'll be safe with us.
Okay, and on to the next prompt. I've felt judged by the other community before. 3, 2, 1.
Can I have 2 of these?
Felt judged.
Judge.
Okay, so anyone can speak.
I feel like with not everyone, because even if you go to like my country, of course you'll get people who judge you and just, but here too that happens. But I feel like I've been judged for my accent. And I feel like the accent that I came with is not the accent that I speak anymore. I don't even know what my real accent is anymore because I'm trying to like blend the whole thing. But I feel like I've been judged. I feel like there's a place where people think because you have an accent, you don't know certain things. And sometimes it weighs down on you unless you, like I said, again, you have to really have God and the Holy Spirit to like just help you go through these things and just stay away from such people that try to like put you in that place. Yeah, but also like I felt really so loved, like the same community, like, same people in this country. So it's just same type of people. You can find them anywhere in any country.
I think what I could say to that is, though it hasn't happened to me directly, it has happened to like my family members. So I feel like I could speak on that. Specifically, I think what you've kind of come in contact with sometimes is being second guessed about what you can bring to the table, in a room full of non-Africans, even with African Americans or even white people, So I feel like you said, confidence is key. Confidence is key, and I feel like if you yourself don't believe that, okay, I belong here, I can do this, I can do that too, it can be crippling. It can be crippling, but I feel like if anything, what I encourage us all to do, even in the midst of situations like that, just have that confidence. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're worthy of being where you are. You're worthy of being in any room. And yeah, that's one aspect.
As an experience and someone who's kind of had both experiences, I was always more accepted by the African American ladies growing up. I felt more comfortable with them, but I always embraced the fact that I'm from Ghana. And when I would go to African like weddings and things, they would think I was African American. So when they found out somehow that I was from Ghana, they're like, oh, and then they want to be nice to me. Oh, we thought you were African American because you don't have African features. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? But it created this issue with me growing up with like, okay, which side am I more aligned with? It wasn't until I got a little older that African girls started to accept me. So I don't know if you've had any of those experiences or anything.
I want to make a comment, I'm sorry. I will say, let me just say this, because it is different for you guys that were born here versus us who came when we were kids, because kids are brutal. I was bullied mercifully. Because I feel like now being African is trending, and so it's now everybody like you now. But then it was rough. My accent was very thick. I had a Nigerian accent, and then people did not even know where Nigeria was. They were like, are you Jamaican? I'm like, no, you don't know where Nigeria is?
That's a common one.
Like I would always have to say I'm African. No, I'm not just African, I'm from Nigeria. It's a real place. So it was tough for me as a kid with my accent. I had just seen snow for the first time. So there's a lot of things that I would ask questions about. And they would just look at me like, girl, like, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, it was African-American people who bullied me. I really didn't even have that much from the white people. I don't know if they were scared of me. I don't know what it was. But they didn't, I think for white people were more curious. Like, oh, you guys have like animals out there or something like that, which is fine. Like, I loved it because I would have to like tell them about, no, I don't see tigers walking around. I literally lived a super, super privileged life in Nigeria. Like my parents were they did well. So it was so weird when they asked, you guys stay in huts? And I'm like, what y'all talking about? Until I had to realize that you guys did not know. But as far as my experience having that accent as a child, I definitely was bullied a lot. And it's now cool now because I did have my confidence and all of that. But
for me personally, if I have experienced any type of bullying, it has not been from African Americans. It has been from other Africans because I was born and raised here, you know, but I was raised as an African child, but I may not talk like one, you know? So I feel like if anything, sometimes I have felt uncomfortable in some rooms, like, oh my gosh, let me pull out all my vocab. Let me make sure that I don't answer in English. Let me make sure I don't mix English in with my language and stuff like that. I feel like that's only been like one aspect where I'm like, okay, these are my people. Why are they treating me like this, you know? But I
No, it's
recognize
real
what
because
you're saying
the
as
reason,
well.
the reason. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, can we
Go ahead.
just get someone from the side?
Go ahead.
No.
Well, I was just gonna say, speaking of what she said, these are my people, why they treated me like this. I probably had 5 African American friends throughout my entire elementary to high school that were actually close to me. It was war. So I don't doubt that they were the ones that bullied you because they are some hardcore, and I'm from the hood.
Even to you?
Yeah, I may not sound like it sometimes,
Nobody
but
said
I'm from the hood. They will clown you, your mama,
Yes.
and then try to beat you up.
Listen.
So my mom was teased because she is very fair skinned. She basically could pass for white if she wanted to.
Yeah.
Her dress was pulled down, you know, drink thrown at her, you know, called high yellow. Me, same thing. So I'm too dark in my mom's family, but at school I was light to the other darker skinned girls. So you think you're all that, you think you're this. So I did not have any, unfortunately, African American female friends until about, I went to one high school, like I said, I could count them on my hand because it was just that war. Like you think you're this, you think you're that. They don't even know what I'm going through. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think so-
Not Africans, but African Americans.
I wonder if sometimes they may know what you're going through, but they feel like, who cares? Because you have the privilege.
Yeah, for sure.
good.
I can definitely attest to that, like being a mixed race woman. Like sometimes I feel like from my own community, less from like the African community, that like my voice is like silenced, or my experience of being a Black woman is not as, you know, it's just not that of a, it isn't, of course, but yeah, I agree with you. I think the more of the tug is like it happens within our own community.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in a church where it was an African church, and like I don't know. I
How
just
did you end up in the African
my nana, she it was called Alpha and Omega, and like she just loved going there, and like my aunt started going, and my nana went for like years. I remember like she was always in church, like if I was going over my nana's house, like they was gonna have church all night. So I'm sleeping at church, like basically. So like, and they never like. I think my family was like one of the only African American people there. Like,
love that.
Like we were surrounded, and we were never discriminated against. We were never looked down on. Actually, my nana was a pillar in the church. So, like, I never had that kind of experience personally.
Yeah. I can relate. Can I say one thing?
Sure.
I can relate to I just wanted to comment on what you were saying because when I came here, I had to start learning how to speak. You can hear my American accent. But then I also moved back to Nigeria to do high school. And when I got there, my people would make fun of me, like, why are you sounding, you know, they like, why are you trying to act like you're better than us, sounding American? So I would switch my accent. That's why I sound. So I had to train myself. So even now, I'm still struggling as an adult because I would code switch. I would try to blend in here because I was bullied here. I would go there. They can't rock with me. So there we are.
Exhausting.
It is.
My tongue is tired. Okay.
It's exhausting. So do you feel that despite our differences, we share the same heritage, struggles, and triumphs as Black women? No?
No.
Why?
No.
Why no?
I think it's a completely different
Experience.
Like, I will never say that I experience what you experience, and I don't think you could say that you experience what I experience. It's just so different that I just.
And it's different in each country.
Yeah.
I really like what she said earlier. She's like the definition of success. So your success is, are you married? Did you have your kids? Can you cook the soup?
Come on now.
Because if you can't cook the soup, you ain't successful. You're not a good wife. You're not a good woman. Who are you? Get out of here. But over here, I could not cook. I could hire a maid, which I plan on doing. I could do all these things and be seen as successful. So I don't think it's the same. Of course, our heritage isn't the same. We're not brought up to think that those things are successful. So ultimately, we do share probably, you know, feminine struggles that we have, but it's just a different goal. It's a different goal in mind and a different desire, and also different expectation. Because if the expectation is this is what makes my life good, and then in America, this is what makes my life good and I'm happy, they're two different things, I feel like, from what I'm hearing. And that's only from what I got.
But also, I'm just gonna say, take for instance you. You're here in the United States. If you didn't open your mouth, I would not know if you were African American or African.
Really?
I would not.
It happened to me
And
today.
you either. Okay? And you wouldn't know until you open your mouth and you heard the accent. You would just think, okay, this is just a bunch of Black women. They all look different. They all have their own beauty and everything. But I would not know, even you, doctor, I wouldn't know that you were from Nigeria. I wouldn't know.
Ghana.
I mean, Ghana.
Oh, she gonna correct us every time.
Ghana, I wouldn't know. You know, because of hair, makeup, you know,
Yeah,
clothing
I
and
am-
everything,
that's
you
very
wouldn't
true.
know.
Yeah.
So
the experience is still very different. At the end of the day, once I'm done kakaing and kiking with y'all, if I was married, I'm going home to whoever I'm married to. Say it was an African man, right?
Okay.
I can't show up. I'm sorry, let me say something. Please don't be offended. You know how you guys, when you guys go to clubs or go to parties, you can twerk and do all that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are free. There's no shame, there's no judgment.
You can't do that?
I can't. I wish in my bedroom. Once again, it's the respect. Because now it's just not blessing. I have a last name. I'm representing my family.
Really?
My
Because I thought
husband.
that from
No,
the
don't get
African
me
women
wrong.
at
Don't
the
get-
clubs, who's
Don't
doing
get me
all that
wrong.
Don't get
winding
me
stuff?
wrong.
Who's doing that?
That's a different culture.
came from our culture.
That's Barbados.
but-
Let's
Came
be
from
honest.
the- Listen, let me say this.
The island.
Yeah,
Let me
okay.
say this. It doesn't take away from the fact. Ask me if I do go to get down like that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, the judgment for us sometimes is a lot harsher. There's shame in our culture. A lot of the times, you guys don't experience. I came to America and felt like now that I'm in my 30s, there's a different level of freedom and independence. Nobody's checking my money. Nobody's asking me questions. I can wear my hair anywhere I want. I can wear whatever I want. Back home, it's just now changing. Once again, we're watching Love and Hip Hop. We're watching Real Housewives. It's just now changing, but even in certain parts, only in the most popular parts. Generally in the whole, there's a lot of things that we as women have to carry ourselves in a different way. We have to be quiet. We have to be this. We have to be that. It's just, I do envy you guys.
Or even like pregnancies, like if you get pregnant outside of marriage in the African community, that's seen as
That's
a
a big
real big
no-no.
problem.
Yeah.
But in the African American community, maybe in certain homes, but not in general, how it would be in an African home.
Oh my gosh, we had a husband.
You're almost like shamed,
Oh.
like the
Oh,
whole village. the whole-
even your own parents, you know.
Yeah, you could be put out, literally. I know people who have been kicked out of their homes, and you just have to figure it out. You know,
They do
but
that here.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Especially if your parents are from the South.
Okay, yes.
But it's
Yeah.
not as it's very rare that you would.
But you're saying like the whole community.
Yeah,
is
you
just
can't.
like-
If you want to wake up and leave your husband today, you can get up and go file a divorce. You
All
can't
right.
do that. You have to have the family. Everybody get on the Zoom
Gather
call.
and
It's
get
a
on the same
meeting. It's
accord.
everybody has to. The pastor got to be there. You got to do all of that.
Oh my
you
God.
guys-
Losing your husband.
Why are you leaving your husband?
We understand
What did he
hit
do?
you, but why?
Exactly. What
Why
did
are
you do?
leaving?
You know?
Stuff like that. So I feel like it goes both ways, yes and no, which is why I was teeter-tottering, but yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for being here and sharing. This was really interesting hearing all of your
this was fun.
perspectives, and I really do want to know from each of you, whoever wants to share, if you gain anything from this conversation or learned
Yes.
anything or anything that shifted in your perspective. I would
This
love to
makes
hear.
me want to go to Ghana.
Come.
Yes,
go
come.
to Nigeria.
Come.
Go. You know, really, it's like I have a passport. I want to go.
Please
Let's
come.
go.
Because it just seems like I would go and it would be fun.
Yes.
You know?
And we welcome
You
you
would
guys
be
with
accepted,
open arms.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this was such a beautiful conversation. I feel so blessed to have heard each of your individual stories and sharing your culture because, like I said, we don't have that connection. So I feel a lot more connected now. I feel a lot more excited now.
Vice
I
versa.
feel like a sense of warmness and even to just go and like explore and see. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, my takeaway from this is I just feel like the young children in the USA, the black children, especially the girls, but all, I feel like we as grown-up women, we need to teach these children how to grow up and behave and be responsible and also take care of themselves, but also like mold them into the society that we want to see. Teach them especially when you talked about the money, racism and money and everything. Teach them how to be independent and operate in their gifts, because that's God's intention for you to operate in your gifts, not to depend on others, not to be employed by others, but to depend on your gift that He has given you. So I feel like that's our responsibility to help the kids that are growing up to know these things. So that means in the next 20 years, if we try with the children, they will see a different future.
Yeah. I would say my perspective definitely shifted, because I mean, it's just my own. I mean, even though I did have the experience with like the African church, like I did feel like a little bit of a side eye, or at least like a perceived side eye that I think that there wasn't a lot of empathy or mercy, I guess, for Americans in general, not just women. But I feel like I appreciate the you guys letting us know that we are seen regardless of like the history. And I hope we can move forward and move together more. So
seen and loved.
And I want to add, like, I think it's so important to do this, like to have African American women and African women in the same room. I think it definitely like changes, and once little girls see that in the media, they're like, oh, we can like get along together. Like, you know, like we're family. And I think we all operate from love, and there's no separation, even though, you know, there are differences. The more we see each other like in the same spaces, it'll be like, you know, train our brains to understand that we can get along and do things together, like come to Africa.
You don't have to be the same to have harmony.
Yes, build.
Work in the club.
Y'all fam.
I do want to say that, you know, I have learned so much from the African American woman. Like you guys, like I admire your confidence. I love how you guys don't take nonsense from anybody. You will stand up and speak back. Like that has also taught all of us like how to be able to, you know, have more, not to say that we didn't have a voice before, but even like be able to be bold and confident to speak up and say when we're uncomfortable with something, when we don't like something, or making ways to change it too. I feel like watching how independent you guys are here also showed me that, you see a African American woman raise 4 kids all by herself. Like
that's what my
mom
did.
In Nigeria, not to say that we don't have women doing that, but we'll have maids, we'll have this, we'll have help, we have community raising. Here, you guys will be
by yourself,
and you guys will still do it and do it well. So I definitely see the struggle here, and I see y'all's pain, and I respect you women, because we're like, in that sense, we're all dealing with something that we're carrying, and y'all are doing it with grace.
I think if anything, like she said, I feel like I want to step more into my own voice, speaking up for myself. Yeah, that's something that we could definitely take from you guys' culture.
Sure.
Whereas in all culture, it's like, shh, quiet down, you know? So as I get older, I pray that I step into that wholeheartedly.
Just do it, girl.
Confidently. Yes. Yes.
She already has. That's the beauty.
Thank you.
No, like especially doing it without guilt. You know, you still feel the guilt. Like you stand up for yourself and go apologize.
And not apologizing after that. And I'm there, but I am empowered. I am empowered.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here and sharing.
Thank you for having us.
I knew it was going to be good.
Thank you, watching at home. If you want to leave a comment, let us know what your thoughts are on the things that were shared today. And until next time, bye-bye.
Hi Hi y'all, my name is Blessing and I'm the owner of Aboki Bee Beef Jerky. This is the best beef jerky in the world. You know why? Because I made it, okay? Period. Listen, what you need to know about this jerky is that we bring our spices from my country in Nigeria. It is authentic, it is spicy, it's packed with flavor, and we have other flavors on the website for you to check out. We got the mango habanero, we got the hot and spicy, the mild, and y'all, we have the latest vegan jerky made out of sweet chili pineapple. I'm telling you, it's nothing like you've ever had before. If you want to grab one of these, go to our website. We ship all over the world, and you do not want to miss this. The best beef jerky in the world. Come on now, Aboki Bee to the world.